This is the great and devious UltraMantis Black, the mayor of parts unknown, and you are listening to the Angry Marks podcast extravaganza, while your ears belong to them. Make no doubt about it, your soul belongs to me.
And we're back on Thursday night AMP. Joining us for a special interview leading up to the CHIKARA King of Trios happening all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, is the one and only, the devious and talented UltraMantis Black. How are you doing this evening, sir?
I am excellent, my friend. It is a pleasure to be with you. And before we go any further, I'm going to ask you a question that I'm sure you've had this question asked of you before, but why, my friend, are you so angry?
I've been told that. I've also been told, hey, you're not angry. Why are you called angry? So you're not the first to ask. But my response to that is about 10 years ago, Triple H said something to Booker T that I've never forgotten. I hold grudges, much like you do, sir. I see. That's perfectly understandable, then. Yes, and let's go ahead and talk about your history, because it is a long and storied one in this glorious world of professional wrestling. And I know that you've been aspiring to be a part of the wrestling business ever since you were a little insect, first fiddling with the knobs on your parents' television set and adjusting that antenna. So why don't you tell our listeners who don't know the storied career of UltraMantis Black how that led you to this glorious sport?
Well, you are correct, my friend. As a young lad, I did indeed watch the professional wrestling. At first, just the old WWF, and then I would fiddle around on the knobs until I found the old regional promotions on the old UHF dial there. But became fascinated with wrestling at an early age, like most of us did, and kind of snowballed from there. There was a brief period where professional baseball, was my extended calling, but after an unfortunate injury in that particular sport, I found myself going back to my original calling, which of course is professional wrestling. So I went and got trained at the great CHIKARA Wrestle Factory, and everything just kind of went from there. I've been in this great sport of ours for 10 plus years now, kind of mesmerizing to my own self, in fact.
Yes, indeed. And which sport position did you play in the professional baseball world? Were you a pitcher, catcher, outfielder? What position was that?
I was a pitcher, my friend. I pitched. I played baseball all through the younger years of my schooling and into university, and was heavily recruited, and thought I might have a career in there, but as I said, unfortunately came to an end prematurely. But falling back on professional wrestling, not too bad. Falling. You know what I'm saying there?
No, it's not worked out badly for you at all. In fact, it's been quite successful. Every time we've had a guest on from CHIKARA, whether it's been somebody like Sugar Dunkerton or Mike Quackenbush, they've all spoken very highly of you, and your videos and your wrestling have entertained us for years, as well as your commentary. In fact, I think few people know, and I may compliment you right now by saying this, that you and CM Punk both have something in common. You're awesome on commentary, and you're vegans.
That's quite that's phenomenal, and I must thank you for the high praise and compliment there. I do my best at the commentary position, and I look up to a few people. I look up to, of course, the great Gordon Soley. But I think a good commentary team on professional wrestling is pivotal and paramount. Would you agree?
Oh, I agree entirely. Whether it's Jesse Ventura and Gorilla Monsoon or yourself and Chuck Taylor, I think a great announce team makes all the difference in the world.
Excellent.
I also have to say that in the sport of professional wrestling, you and your crew, the Spectral Envoy, as it were, have a very unique mystique. There's something about watching you in CHIKARA that stands out from any other professional televised wrestling entertainment that you will see anywhere else in the world.
Well, I think I've sort of developed this persona. I call it a persona, but I think over the years I have definitely become what I am in the ring and outside of the ring as well. And I like to hope that the people watching at home or at the live events are find it to be something different and something that they don't see in their average everyday lives or on the television set, as you say.
Yes, I think it's safe to say that when you watch a Chikara event, whether it's live in Eastern Pennsylvania or whether you watch an iPay-per-view like High Noon or whether you order a DVD from smartmarkvideo.com, you're always going to see something larger than life in a Chikara ring. It's a product that's unlike any other.
And speaking of larger than life, my friend, how about King of Trios weekend approaching? Tomorrow it all begins, a larger than life biggest wrestling tournament in all of professional wrestling. And how about that? You going to watch it, my friend?
Oh, if I could be there in person, I would be. If I can find a way to stream it, I will. Unfortunately, I have a sport that I follow called college football, and it takes me away on weekends where I would rather be home in front of a computer or be in Easton, Pennsylvania, keeping track of live events. I have yet to experience the Chikara-ness live. It's a great regret of my life that I have not had that experience yet.
Well, you know what, my friend? I'm working on I have an old satellite dish hooked up in the backyard here at the Black Tea Garden, and I'm working on pivoting just the right way so that we can transmit all of the live events to and from your Atari Entertainment System. I think you'll be happy and pleased.
I will be, especially if I get a chance to see matches like Quackenbush, Jigsaw, and Manami Toyota. I mean, what kind of a team is that? That is unbelievable talent in a ring, and they're going against the Swarm, Combat Ant, Deviant Ant, and Soldier Ant. That is a phenomenal match. I mean, there are so many phenomenal matches. I don't know if we have time to talk about all of them.
Well, we probably don't, but you're right. I mean, we have quite the list of competitors. We have everyone from the stars of Chikara to former WWE men like the Warlord and the Barbarian, and how about that Haku, a.k.a. Meng? He'll be there. We have international stars like the stars of Osaka Pro Wrestling. A little bit of something for everyone here at the King of Trios tournament.
Yes, and not the least of which is yourself, because you and Frightmare and Hollow Wicked are also in the first round of the King of Trios, and I'm sure you are predicting monumental success and that you will go all the way to the finals.
My friend, Spectral Envoy is absolutely destined for greatness and to triumph this year at King of Trios. We've had our downfalls and our setbacks in the past, whether it was by myself or with the Order of the Neo-Solar Temple in the past, but the Spectral Envoy, myself, Hollow Wicked, and Frightmare, this is our year, my friend. I am guaranteeing it. It is destiny, it is fate, it is our birthright to be victorious this year at King of Trios.
Well, I believe a lot of people out there are hoping for that as well. And it's sort of interesting that I say that too, because I mentioned at the start of our interview that you're known as a devious individual, but I think you've developed an anti-hero following, sort of like the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the day, because people don't care that you're devious or that the Neo-Solar Temple or the Spectral Envoy does things that, you know, they have to order to win. I think people cheer for that and expect that from you.
You know, I've noticed that myself, and I've heard that comparison to one Stone Cold Steve Austin. I've seen some of his work, but yes, you know, I don't classify myself as the babyface or the heel or the technical or the rudo. I am what I am. If I have to bend rules to get by, I will. I respect my fans, and I call my fans my devotees. And if my devotees are there for me, then I am there for them. But I will never change for anyone, my friend. So I do what I have to do to win.
Yes, the devotees have always been there. You've had many different partners and members of the Neo-Solar Temple over the years, be they Hydra or Crossbones. You know, no matter what odd couple you seem to be in, it always seems to work out in your favor.
Well, you know, I like the strange individuals. You know, they say strange bedfellows, something or another, but you know, I like to mix it up. I like the individuals that might be cast-offs from the rest of society, because I think that's where we excel. When we are together, we are banded as one. I'm a big fan of the stables. You know, the old stables of the old professional wrestling. I'm a big fan of that, and I think specifically this weekend in King of Trios, that's where it's going to pay off. Some of these tag teams, these trios are coming together. You know, they've never teamed together before. Well, maybe they've done a little bit of teamwork here and there, but the Spectral Envoy is a unit. We've always been a unit, and that's what makes us special.
Absolutely. I cannot disagree with that one bit. It's special that you're a team and always have been a team, and that gives you a competitive edge. Although, if you come up against the Swarm in a later round, that could be a really tough challenge because they are a team and have stuck together thick and thin as ants. So it could be they have the closest advantage that you do to being a unified force.
I think you're right about that, my friend. We've had our tussles in the past with the Swarm as well as the Batiri, and there's a good chance that we can face both of those teams at some point in this tournament, either the Batiri or the Swarm. And we've had some successes, we've had some failures with them in the past, but at King of Trios, we put that all behind us. It's all a brand new ball game, as they say. You know what I'm saying, my friend?
Absolutely. And
Oh,
I'm glad you mentioned the Batiri because they've had quite an interesting year feuding with the likes of Sarah Del Rey and Saturnine, and you've been very observant of their actions.
The Batiri are, in fact, my own protégés. I discovered the Batiri on the island of Bled Island in Slovenia many years ago. I trained them to be one of my own, and they were taken from me. They were stolen from me by one Kizani. And Kizani, ever since, he's since fled CHIKARA Pro, but the Batiri no longer my allies, no longer my friends, no longer have anything to do with the Spectral Envoy. I will teach them a lesson. If I get back in the ring with them, the Batiri, they will be as good as gone. They will have no part of the Spectral Envoy.
Well, I think we've just booked a match then. We have you teaming up with Saturnine and Sarah Del Rey to triumph over the evilness. Unfortunately, that won't happen because Sarah Del Rey has also moved on, and she's no longer available. But if she were, I'm sure that would be a phenomenal match.
Well, I've always, Sarah Del Rey, quite personally, has been always one of my favorites in CHIKARA and the entire sport of professional wrestling, and I wish her nothing but the best in her new endeavors. But I'm sure if ever I was in need, she would answer that call because she is just that kind of a lady.
Yes, she is a phenomenal wrestler and a phenomenal lady. I can offer nothing but the highest praise for her. But I do have to go back to some questions that our readers here at AngryMarks.com want to know. Participants in the AngryMarks.com/chat are always asking us questions for our guests. And the one that I know you've heard a million times, and I apologize for this, is where is the Neo-Solar Temple located?
The Neo-Solar Temple is located in the heart of the Black Tea Garden, deep, deep, deep in parts unknown, my friend.
Ah, so then you're neighbors with the Ultimate Warrior, I take it.
Absolutely. He comes over for a spot of coffee here and there.
Now, can you ever picture Ultimate Warrior appearing in a CHIKARA King of Trios team?
I could see that happening. Nothing is out of the realm of possibility. We've had some very, very unique and unusual trios at King of Trios over the years, and we've had some pretty insane surprises as well. So you never know. You might see old Jim Hellwig this weekend, in fact, in King of Trios.
Yes, anything is possible. I mean, hey, you've got Jerry Lynn and the 1-2-3 Kid coming in, so anything is possible indeed.
That is right.
Now, if you had to pick one match out of the entire first round of the King of Trios taking place tomorrow night in Easton, Pennsylvania, which one would you say is the one that's going to absolutely tear down the house?
You mean besides the Spectral Envoy match and any match the Spectral Envoy is involved in this weekend?
Besides yours, of course, which we know will, but somebody else other than you, if you can be objective.
Right. Well, I have to say, I'm very intrigued by the Team Extreme, the former ECW All-Stars. I believe they're taking on the ROH team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that sounds right. And I was asked a couple of days ago in the chat room if I had to pick one team who I thought could be the surprise team in the whole thing. I picked Team ECW, so that's a very astute choice by yourself.
Well, I think it's going to be a phenomenal matchup. It's going to be definitely sort of a styles clash there, but Team ECW, Too Cold Scorpio, are you kidding me, my friend? As well as Jerry Lynn, the greatest metalhead of professional wrestling history, and of course Tommy Dreamer, the innovator of violence. I think they're going to surprise quite a few people this weekend.
Yes, and it's very interesting timing for Dreamer to be involved as well because he's also busy setting up his own promotion, the House of Hardcore, that's going to run their first show in Poughkeepsie, New York in just a few weeks. Has he contacted you to see if you'd like to come in for the House of Hardcore?
It would be my honor to come in for such an event and for such a promotion. I definitely have so much respect for Tommy Dreamer, and he's done a lot for CHIKARA Pro these last couple of years, and we definitely appreciate it. And I would, if he was to offer the invite, I would definitely accept, my friend.
Yes, and speaking of people who've done a lot for CHIKARA over the last couple of years, I've been really impressed by Eddie Kingston's ability to not only rise up as the CHIKARA Grand Champion, but to go and successfully defend that Grand Championship for other promotions and other territories. How do you feel about Eddie Kingston's success as the CHIKARA Grand Champion?
I had my doubts about Eddie Kingston. I've had doubts about him over the last 10 years. I've had differences with him in the past. at our very beginnings, we actually trained together for a brief period of time in the early days of the CHIKARA Pro Wrestling School. But I respect the man. He's done a lot for this promotion. He's done a lot for the business of professional wrestling. He makes no bones about who he is. He makes no excuses. He tells it like it is. Eddie Kingston, I believe, is a great representation of CHIKARA Pro and as our grand champion. And I wish him nothing but the best. However, if I were to step in the ring with him again, I had one chance with him in the ring. If I was to get that chance again, I'd have to say a few other words about Eddie Kingston, but I think it'd be quite a matchup.
Yes, and I think you might just be predicting that you would be the new CHIKARA Grand Champion if that event were to take place.
That could very well be, my friend. You never know.
You never know, indeed. And another question from our AngryMarks.com/chat readers who love you and your career. They want to know what sort of vegan treats they can buy you if they ever meet you at a show.
Oh, my goodness. You know what I like? I really enjoy that Concord grape pie. You ever have the Concord grape pie, my friend?
I'm afraid I haven't had that treat. It must be a regional delicacy.
It is very regional, and my friend, you would love it. It's much like the shoe fly pie of Pennsylvania. It is delicious.
Have you ever had chess pie?
Chip pie.
Yes.
Now
you're talking about game, chess, the word chess.
Oh, no, I have not. Is it delicious?
Yes, it is a very delicious and also regional treat.
Oh, my. I'll have to investigate that further. You know what I like of the Pennsylvania Dutch food? I like the chow chow. You ever had the chow chow, my friend?
I don't think I've had the chow chow. Tell me about it.
Oh, it's delicious. It's pickled vegetables all pickled up together, much like the pickled eggs. I don't go for the pickled eggs myself, but it's delicious. You and I, my friend, will have to sit down one day and break bread together and enjoy some regional delicacies.
Absolutely. I'm sure we can find a bunch of vegan delicious treats that are good to eat. In fact, I've noticed over the last year something that I think you would truly appreciate, and perhaps you can wax poetic on it. I've noticed a lot of people these days are making vegan cupcakes.
Yes, it seems like cupcakes have exploded on the scene for the past 5 years, and definitely we've had our share of vegan bakeries. You know what I understand, my friend? Cupcakes were kind of the big thing for a little while there, and then it was macaroons. Did you know macaroons are now the new hit treat? Ever had a macaroon?
Oh yes, they are quite delicious. They are a lovely treat.
Yes, macaroons and their feminine ally, the Madeleine, also the French pastry. So yeah, you have to check those out.
Absolutely. Now, going back to your long and storied career as a professional wrestler, if you could pick one match in time, and this is also a question from AngryMarks.com, that you say is like the pinnacle of UltraMantis Black, win or lose, what match would that be?
In my own career?
In your own career.
I'd have to say one of my favorite matches, and what I think was at the time sort of paramount in a feud that I was having with Aries. It was myself and Aries in a Falls Count Anywhere matchup at the former ECW arena in Philadelphia a few years back. We kind of reignited that rivalry, and we had a tag team matchup this past year, myself and Hollowicked versus Aries and Tim Dunn at the arena as well. But that singles competition between myself and Aries, one of my favorite wrestling matchups of all time that I was involved in, and definitely one that I look back in with some fondness, indeed.
Yeah, it was a great match. I cannot dispute it. And you've had so many. I almost feel ashamed to pick out any one match that you've had and point it out myself as the best, which is why I defer to you. But you've been involved in so many great feuds over the years, and one of my favorites was with the Bruderschafter Cruises, or Cruises. I always pronounce that word wrong. I will let you as an announcer say their name correctly and correct me.
Oh, we call it the BDK.
Yeah. It's better to call it the BDK. That's easier.
Absolutely. Make no mistake about it.
I'm not so fluent in German, and I fully admit that. But I think one of the interesting things that I always remember about that feud was that you were actually mentoring to Chris Hero. And, of course, we know he's gone on, like so many others have gone on in CHIKARA and Ring of Honor, to other promotions and other things. But it strikes me as a very unique moment in time that for a while there, Chris Hero was your protege.
Well, yes, we kind of had a unique, symbiotic relationship there. I don't know if he was my protege. I think we were both each other's proteges in a sense. But yes, it is kind of funny how things come full circle. And Chris Hero has some great things going on for him these days. And But yes, it's interesting, my friend. For some reason, I find myself being feuds just are attracted to me. Everyone's coming after me left and right, and I don't know why. I just keep to myself and do my own thing. But yet, everyone seems to come after the great and devious UltraMantis Black. I just can't explain it.
Well, I think I can explain it if you'll allow me. I would say it's your natural insectoid pheromones. It just attracts people around you.
Yes, very good point. Very good point, my friend. Well, did you major in biology in the university by any chance?
I took a few courses, but I did not major in it.
Oh, well, you took a few courses. I gather you took out A+ in all those courses. You make an excellent point, and I can see where you're coming from with that. The UltraMantis Black, the great insect overlord. I pride myself on being an individual, and I think some people are afraid of that, and that kind of thing scares people. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? If people are scared, that's their own business. But if people are attracted, then so much the better. But going back to something you said about Hero, since you consider yourself a protege of him as much as he was of you, did he at every point teach you the Mitsuharu roaring elbow?
Well, yeah, he did, as a matter of fact. It's funny you mention that, because I know just recently he's been quite he's been speaking about it publicly about the rolling elbow. But yes, I consider Chris Hero one of my he's not my original trainer. Of course, I was trained by the great Mike Quackenbush and Reckless Youth, but Chris Hero did indeed have a hand in my training and my upbringing as a professional wrestler, and I owe a great bit of gratitude and indebted to him forever. But yes, the man knows so many holds and so many great submission maneuvers, and he's just a great mind for professional wrestling, one of the greatest minds in pro wrestling.
Now, speaking of Reckless Youth, his name also came up when we talked to Mike in an interview a couple of years ago. And, he's one of those guys that had a reputation. Underground independent wrestling fans thought of him as being one of the greatest talents of his generation. And then he sort of disappeared from the scene and did the CHIKARA Wrestle Factory. And, other than a cameo at High Noon, we really don't see him anymore. Do you talk to Reckless Youth anymore? Do you hear from him?
I do speak to Reckless Youth on occasion. He's moved on in life. He had a great career in professional wrestling. A lot of people don't realize just how much he accomplished. He was often called the king of the indies, but he spent a great deal of time under developmental with the former WWF and spent a lot of time down in Memphis and had some great stories about that. And I just, again, Reckless Youth, one of those people that I will forever be indebted to. But I think he's moved on to other things. I do know that he misses pro wrestling, but right now it's just not where his heart is. But it was great seeing him at High Noon, and I hope that he does indeed make another appearance one day at CHIKARA Pro.
Absolutely. If it's on iPay-per-view or just for the live crowd, either way, I know it would be greatly appreciated by people who know his legacy and know how much influence he's had as, a CHIKARA trainer as well. Because like you said, so many of the students like yourself have come from under his wing and gone on to do great things. That's
right.
Now, I do have to address something that I've noticed in going over your career over the years. It's the fact that, there's been many appearances of yourself at King of Trios. And, I've said that you're obviously a favorite because your team has gone on to accomplish great things and you've worked as a unit together. But what do you think you can pinpoint this year as a strategy that will how will I say it, put you over the top?
What strategy will put us over the top? Again, as I said before, just working as a cohesive unit. Working as a cohesive unit is so important to the Spectral Envoy, and we've been practicing, we've been training for weeks and weeks on end together in the dojo, deep here in the Black Tea Garden, and just working together. And as I said, we're not afraid to bend the rules if we need to.
Now, what is your favorite bending of the rules? What is the one tactic that, as somebody who is neither rudo nor technico, but just does what needs to be done, what is your favorite tactic for achieving success in a
I'm a big fan of the eye poke. I like the eye poke.
Yes, it's a classic move, and it's often overlooked. I think people tend to dismiss it. It goes back to antiquity as a way to get your opponent in a disadvantageous position.
Absolutely. And, and I don't know if this is considered an illegal maneuver per se, but you know what else I'm a big fan of? The old back rake. The back rake and the front rake.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You cannot go wrong with those moves. They always seem to stun an opponent. There is no way that you cannot achieve success by using a back rake.
Oh, you got that right, my friend.
Yes, indeed. So I have to say, give you the floor, as it will, or the office, if you would like, and allow you to deliver a message to your competitors in the King of Trios this year. What warning would you like to issue to them, as it were?
I just would tell all of my competitors that while I may or may not respect them, they have no choice but to get out of the Spectral Envoy's way in this King of Trios tournament. As I said, it is our destiny. Everything has aligned. The stars have aligned. The planets have aligned. Everything is now in cosmic order. The Spectral Envoy cannot be stopped. So don't stand in our way. Just walk to the side. Go get a donut or whatever you do and when you're standing in the ring against us. Just pay no attention to us. Just leave. Leave the ring. We are rolling over everyone. They have no choice. It's kismet, my friend. It's destiny.
Now, would you say you would ever like a chance to revenge what happened to you at the hands of Team Dragon Gate, or have you moved on from that devastating loss?
Oh, it was indeed a devastating loss at the time, but I hold no grudge against Team Dragon Gate. The three competitors we faced were very respectful men and wonderful competitors, and they are not my enemies. However, this year, 2012, King of Trios, every man, every woman who stands against me in the ring is an enemy, and they will be dealt with like an enemy. I guarantee that, my friend. Mark my words.
I will accept those words and take them at face value, and I hope that everybody listening does as well. Now, going back to questions from AngryMarks.com readers and listeners, they've asked if you have a favorite form of pizza, like a special vegetarian pizza or a pizza with unique toppings that would suit your dietary lifestyle.
As far as the pizza goes, the pizza pie, it's an Italian delicacy, I understand, but I enjoy the pizza with a little bit of the Daiya cheese. It's a cheese alternative that they make out there. A little bit of Daiya sprinkled on, a little olive oil, and then you know what I like with toppings like that? I like the black olives. You know what else I like? I like the mushrooms, the portobello mushrooms, the shiitake mushrooms. I like the mushrooms. I don't like the hallucinogenic mushrooms, my friend. Those I'll have no part of. However, the black olives and the mushrooms, that's a treat that can't be beat, my friend.
Oh, that's absolutely true. In fact, one of my favorite pies is a spinach and mushroom pizza. That is just absolutely fantastic to eat.
Ooh, that sounds delicious and breathtaking. Again, we have to sit down together and share some pizza pie, some Dr. Pepper, and we'll play some Ms. Pac-Man on the cocktail arcade machine there.
Absolutely. Do you consider yourself an old school video gamer? Are you into like the Ms. Pac-Man and Defender and Galaga and that sort?
I'm absolutely into the Atari-style games. Anything, the Atari, the Vectrex, the Intellivision, the ColecoVision, anything beyond that is just like well above and beyond my head. I'm thinking of bigger and better things. My mind works too deep for that kind of thing there. But, those old one-bit games, delicious.
You've just hit a note of obscurity that absolutely tickles me because I actually own a Vectrex. It's set up in my game room, and I love those line-scaled graphics and playing the games like Mindstorm. That's just delicious to me. I enjoy Vectrex tremendously.
Now, are you of Canadian descent, my friend? Because it seems that all the Vectrex enthusiasts I've found are living in the Great White North of Canada. Where are you located, my friend?
I'm currently residing in Omaha, Nebraska, but my co-host who couldn't be here today is from Ottawa, Canada.
Oh, I see. So it probably just rubbed off then on you.
I suppose you could say it has, but
indeed.
I just lucked out one day. I walked into a vintage game store, and they had one there with 20 games, and they wanted $100 for it. And I knew that 20 games plus a Vectrex was worth well more than $100. I put down the money and said, "Here, give it to me. I want it all."
My friend, that is the deal of the century.
Yes, it was. And in fact, it led me to discover there are people, believe it or not, in 2012, there are people who actually create new Vectrex games, and you can buy them over the internet. That is truly phenomenal.
My mind has been blown, my friend.
Yes, I believe the site is like Vectrex.biz, but if you check it out, there are carts available for sale. So if you have a working Vectrex in your garage, I'd dig it out, and you can buy some brand new games to play on it right now.
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to get right on that.
Yes, indeed. So I believe we've just about used up your time because I know you are highly in demand today, and many people want to talk to the great, powerful, and glorious UltraMantis Black in preparation for King of Trios. But in closing, if you want to give any additional plugs, like your personal Twitter account or anything that you want to shout out, go ahead and do so.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Of course, as you already mentioned, CHIKARAPro.com, KingofTrios.com, SmartMarkVideo.com, one of our allies. Check me out on Twitter, @UltraMantis, or UltraMantisBlack.com. You can order some great merchandise. We have some new shirts available for King of Trios, and yeah, that's about it. I encourage everyone, if you can't be there in person at King of Trios, to buy it on the DVD or the streaming digital format when it's available at SmartMarkVideo.com. And I just want to thank you, my friend, and the great Angry Marks for the opportunity to share my wit and wisdom tonight.
It's been our extreme pleasure. As I said, your name has come up in every single Chikara interview we've ever done. So for me, this is a real treat and an honor to have you on the program.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you so much, Mr. Black. It's been our pleasure, and I wish you nothing but the best of success in the King of Trios this weekend.
Well, no problem. Thank you very much, my friend, and you have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.